Shaku Maku, everybody. Shaku Maku. And it's a fantastic fantastic Monday afternoon in the city of Lagos. If you thought that the rains had come and then it would affect altogether the atmosphere, then you, to coin the band, you're sitting on a long thing. The weather is hot and humid. It's almost as if the rains did not fall. I was out for some hours on the island to see the impact of all the road improvement that have been happening, whether the drainages will be blocked. Interestingly, most of the usual suspects in flooding when you have heavy rains on the island were free. So let's say kudos to the state authorities in helping with that, but I don't know what happened in some parts of town. Maybe the rains did come in and the floods happened. By the way, the state authority put out a notice saying that we're going to have over 250 days of rains in the state. So it's the season, and let's get prepared and be guided in how we go ahead with it. I'm Aghogho Oboh, and this is the hard fact. Sitting for Sandra Ezekwesili. By the way, we'll be resuming tomorrow, so her days in sunshine is over. She's back to work. I'm sure she doesn't want to hear that, but she'll be coming in tomorrow, and we'll continue from just where we stopped. All right, you know the way we do it here. We begin with the big three. Three big stories we're following over the weekend, and many of those stories are happening as we speak. So we're giving you live updates on at least two of those stories. Two or even three. Almost all the stories are happening as we speak. So you help with some part because it's directly affecting you, all the stories. And then we've got a crew out on at least one of the stories who will be updating us with what is happening. And after the big three, we have Mr. Landlord. It's a repeat edition of the problem that continues to chew at the courts of residents, landlord-tenant wahala over you buy land and then you have land grabbers come and then they begin to contest the document. How do you spot it? How do you know you're not being scammed in buying real estate in Lagos? You can tune in at 4 at the top of the hour right after the business news update. You've got the news update happening at the top of hour from now all the way till 6 where we have the main news bulletin. And at 5 we have the big hard fact. We're going to be focusing on people with disability. There's a law in Lagos, if you don't know. Lagos is one of the early states before the National Disability Act came into play. And will be a group, Concerned Citizens with Disability. My good friend David Anyele's group has done something. They've done an assessment on how the Lagos State Disability Act and law is working. And that assessment we'll be looking at 5 p.m. Has it been satisfactory or unsatisfactory? We hope that we can learn a couple of lessons by 5 p.m. And so that's it in a nutshell. If you're ready, then I am ready. Let's go.
The Big Three on Hard Facts on 99.3 Nigeria Info. This is the Big Three. The Big Three on Hard Facts on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Let's deal with this first. The Judicial Staff Union of Nigeria, for a second week running, the protest continues, and the protest not just in Lagos but all across the country. Today they were supposed to be at the Today they were supposed to have a meeting. You know, where you remember last week, the governor of Sokoto State, who is also in charge of the body of governors to look into the fight by the Judicial Staff Union of Nigeria for independence. And that meeting didn't happen today. It's been postponed, according to the Ministry of Labour. Chris Ngige, the minister, said it's going to happen tomorrow. And in anger, they said they're going to protest at the National Assembly. They were blocked off by soldiers in Abuja. I'm sure you've seen some of those pictures. And in Lagos, the Bar Association carried out a protest. I'm sure you did see some of them, those of you on the island, along law school. So we have a crowd there. Ijoma Esek, it's a judicial correspondent. And she's been on the road and has been seeing things firsthand. Hello, Ijoma.
Hi, Aghogho.
Excellent. I hope you've not tired yourself out with plenty of walking with the lawyers.
No, not at all.
Absolutely. So what happened today? We understand that there was a protest sort of to sensitize everyone that this is what is going on, and the strike is in its second week now, grounding to a halt all activities in courts across the country.
Oh, yes. The judicial correspondence, judicial union advanced to carry out a nationwide protest across the nation. And at the early hours of today, they had to call off the protest, saying that the Minister of Employment and Labor and Employment had told them to step down the protest, saying that there's going to be a meeting tomorrow by 3 p.m. To discuss on the way forward. And due to the fact that they decided to step down, shelve their own protest, the Nigerian Bar Association had already sent out a message last week saying that there's going to be a protest today in solidarity of the judicial union, and which happened eventually today. We walked from the Bar Association to the governor's office. And drama, I must tell you, took place. When the lawyers got to the governor's office, the place was barricaded and they weren't given access into the office. And they got angry that this has been, they've already issued a statement saying that there's going to be a protest in the 36 states of the Federation, including the FCC.
Right.
And they began to argue. They had a mid-argument, and later on, someone came out to attend to them.
Right.
But instead of receiving the letter on behalf of the governor, they said what they got, the memo that was received was for the governor himself to receive the letter. But later on, eventually, they gained access. About 3 people were allowed to go into the governor's office to drop the letter. If it was the governor that received this letter, I cannot guarantee that. But I can tell you that a letter was delivered in Lagos and in other parts of the state where the protest took place.
Obviously, interestingly, we've had discussions with the executive of the Judiciary Staff Union. I remember asking them that, that many of these things you're asking, it's on the governors of the states to implement the financial autonomy and the independence they're craving for, which is the reason for the protest. And they had said that Lagos State was forward-looking and they believed that the governor of Lagos State will follow through without even the executive order to allow the judiciary in the state function independently. So I'm a bit taken aback that you had a blockade, you say, at the state secretariat, and not even the governor came to receive.
Not the governor, not the speaker, not the deputy governor, not any of the honorables.
And you have an opportunity to speak with the lawyers also, because I know previously they were a bit divided in how to approach this. Some had said, wait a minute, no need to embark on the strike. Others had said, you can't go ahead with the strike. And I've seen differing opinions from senior lawyers on the usefulness, of the strike.
There's a divided opinion on this, but I can tell you that the Nigeria Bar Association Chairman Ikeja branch, Mr. Bartholomew, was the one that led today's protest. And if the leadership of the union is the one leading the protest, I think they spoke in a voice, which is that they want the implementation and the full autonomy of the judicial arm. And according to him, they are not asking for too much. Some states have already started saying, okay, they are ready to give them the autonomy they require. But the thing there is they want an implementation. They want it to be signed. They want it to be sealed. They want it to take effect. The claim is that 23 years after democracy, the judicial arm of government is still, they're still not free. They need their freedom. They need their financial freedom in order to handle things themselves, and not to wait for the governor of the state to always be the one to say, okay, I'm the one putting the bills of the chief judge and all of this. So they want it to be free, fair, and open, and not to be boxed in a corner.
All right. Not to be boxed in a corner, but you're out of this box, Ijoma Esek. Thank you very much
Thank you
for being with us on Big Three. And we're going to keep our fingers crossed on this very important one. When they meet tomorrow, Governor Aminu Tambuwal said, we're going to dot the I's and cross the T's. And let's see how it goes. There's still a lot to happen with the judiciary And thank you very much once again, Ijuma Esek, our judiciary correspondent. So that's one story we're looking at today. In case you just joined in on the Big Three, you can also send us comments, questions on WhatsApp, 08095975805. And then on Twitter, it's at Nigeria Info FM. Hashtag is Nigeria Info HF. Those who have just also been let out of the box is our second story, which is with the national identification number and then SIM registration. I'm sure you had the so-called good news last week, which is that if you want to acquire a SIM now, you can go ahead and acquire it because the suspension has been lifted. So all across the country, people who had bore the brunt of a SIM shutdown because of the order by the Ministry of Communication and Digital Economy, saying that if you don't link your SIM to your phone lines, you're not going to be able to use that. So that was on the one hand for those who even had their SIMs already on it. But those who did not have SIMs, it's a different matter entirely. We're not going to be able to access the service or even have their SIMs registered. People who had lost their SIM cards, for example, couldn't have them replaced. Not to even forget, the judiciary is even linked with this because the affidavit and all of those things you go to get in the court place. For example, if you misplaced your SIM the last 2 weeks or thereabout, courts have been closed, so you cannot get that. But that was just one part of the problem. The bigger part of the problem was the directive from the Ministry of Communication saying that you cannot have a new SIM, and this affected many people. Those who come into the country, foreign investors, could not acquire SIMs. Those who lost their SIM cards and their SIM cards tied directly to their businesses. Many people, many of them, we cannot quantify how much money had been lost in this entire thing. Billions of naira. That's a good question that people are asking. Who's going to pay for all the losses they incurred during this period that they couldn't use or access their SIM cards? How much loss did that affect the economy? Was it worth it? The Ministry of Communication had argued that this was for security reasons, and all of that was the major reason why they had put a freeze on people getting SIM card. But this is what the ministry put out on Thursday, saying that NIN is mandatory still. The new policy makes it mandatory for anyone to be issued SIM to have their national identity number. The issuance of new SIMs and other suspended activities will resume on the same date as long as verification is done and the guidelines are fully adhered to. Femi Adeluyi is a technical assistant, Information Technology Minister of Communications, who was quoted as saying and that the processing of a national identity number will be prerequisite for new SIM acquisition and activation, SIM replacement, new SIM activation for corporates, and Internet of Things / machine to machine, amongst others. So if you've been to any of those centers to have a new SIM, I would love to know how the experience has been like. Has it been the same rough as it been in the past? Or have you been able to get the new SIM? Have you been able to replace the SIM? I know people since December, haven't earned a single kobo because their entire business has been tied to the SIM. Both those who are in the business of getting people new SIMs or updating their SIM cards, independent people, and then people who are directly affected in their SIM cards being stolen, misplaced, or damaged. So we'd love to hear from you in our second story. I'm going to go to the phone line so we can sort of have a feel on what you think about the first two stories, one with the Judiciary Staff Union, and then the other with the lifting of the ban on new SIMs, replacement of SIMs, damaged SIMs. Would love to hear how it's affecting you. Both stories I know affecting people, and would love to hear from you. If we'll get on the third story, which is also very important. Number to call, 0700 993 993 993. Again, 0700 993 993 993. And on WhatsApp, it's 0809 597 5805. Chike from Akute sends us a message via WhatsApp. He says, "Good afternoon, Aghogho. It's so bad. People can't even protest in peace. Where is justice and equity? The country is degenerating to a police state. Federal and state governments are becoming more and more tyrannical. I call it militocracy." Let's see and hear. By the way, this is being streamed live on Facebook as well as on YouTube. So if you got questions and comments, Would love to hear from you there also. Comrade Ikechukwu joins us this afternoon from Otta Farm. Hello, Comrade Ikechukwu. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. May God bless you, sir.
Yeah, bless you too.
Yeah, the first story concerning the judiciary.
Right.
I support them. I support the judiciary union. Let them have their own autonomy so that we can at least get a fair hearing and a fair judgment in Nigeria.
Let me ask you something, Comrade Ikechukwu. I've heard people who say, for example, that there's still the problem of corruption. If you still give them the autonomy, will this end corruption? I've also heard people say, let's get to that bridge and then we can cross it. What do you think?
Sir, if you give them freedom, at least corruption will be lessened. Corruption will be lessened, yes. If you give them autonomy, it will be lessened for my own view. So concerning NIN, hello?
Right, we hear you. Go ahead.
Concerning NIN, sir, I lost a loved one because she slumped where she rushed to go and register for NIN.
Wow.
Because of the intimidating words and sending us to jail if we not getting for pantering from pantering. So I'm even threatening to go sue him to law courts by intimidating Nigerians, and they clustered in a pandemic in registering, and some of them died. Are you hearing me?
Yeah, we hear you.
I don't know the rush. I don't know the rush now. I don't know his motive.
Well, but the update to the story we're talking about is the lifting of the ban on SIM cards and acquisition and all of that.
Thank you. It's very it's a very good welcome idea, but there is nothing to clap. We cannot come out and dance at the lifted SIM card. Do you know how many SIM I get? Because if one lost or if they block me, my business don't finish now. But for me, there's nothing to clap about. There's nothing to clap about. They must have to. So concerning Pantering, I will see him to court. But for me, losing a loved one.
All right.
Thank
you very much. Always a pleasure speaking with you, Comrade Ikechukwu from Otta Farms. 0700 993 993 993. Call in. We're looking at the big three. It's a big weekend. Many of the stories we carryovers from last week into this week. The Judiciary Staff Union for a second week have continued to shut down the courts, insisting and demanding on their autonomy. They're supposed to have a meeting today. That meeting has been postponed to tomorrow, but they still went ahead with the protest in Lagos. You had the lawyers protesting, just like in 36 states of the country and the Federal Capital Territory. You've also had a protest in Abuja. Stopped. Interestingly, all of the protests stopped by in the National Assembly and the Federal Court of Appeal. Stopped by armed security personnel saying, "Don't come near this place." Ebuka is in Mushin. Hello, Ebuka, and good afternoon. Makushi. People were asking about you last week. I told them they've been listening to the wrong show that he's been on, but it's good to know people are asking about you, right?
Oh, my brother. In fact, if they want to give me money, I do. It's all good, bro.
Right.
Happy New Week. So, you see this thing there. If government can protest against its own way of doing things, who am I not to support them? Who have been, I bet they carry on, you understand? So, for the means, now the law or the judiciary, they on strike or protest.
Right.
We have, if you want to go and do half days,
right,
you have to go to court.
Very
if
true.
you want to do national, what is it called, passport.
Right.
That half days pass, like if your passport lost, you've got to do law case, and it's in the court. So how do people go about it? Because these people, I don't understand. This name, the thing is another thing. BVN was a case. They said you can't use the BVN. You have to integrate your BVN, your name, if you have done it before to your bank. All this policy, they are just revolving around, just trying to carry us. They carry us enter road, carry us enter forest. Just like they demonstrate for where they work. Wow, the reason they expect was, like comedy just called now that things are lost. What are they expecting from us? They want me to just collaborate everything. Better give us a law that can be long term. Look at it together. For all your sector, all the government parasites also. According to the sit together and put a law that can help Nigeria move forward better. Not that you just bring this on, another person bring this on. The same family, my brother. I better leave here.
All right. Leave it on there. Thank you very much. Always a pleasure speaking with you, Ebuka. We're going to go on a quick break. We come back. I'll go on the third story and also hear some more from you. I'll speak with you on Facebook, on WhatsApp, on Twitter, whatever online platform you're talking. It's your number one talk, news, and sports station, 99.3 Nigeria Info. Please stay with us.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We'll be right back.
Hey Ali, how are you?
I'm tired, Shadi. My bank is bashing my head with charges.
Have I not shown you how to break free from sufferhead banking?
Is it that kudos something?
Kuda, Ali. It's Kuda.
That one, Kuda. Are they even safe?
Which grab the headlines. And the stories be as you get, as you say. This is one country where other climes, when it's Monday, we have what you call a dry Monday. But in this country, we don't do things by half. You got the entire editorial desk bombarded, beginning from the morning. You have the stories which we're looking at. Ijoma Esek did follow lawyers, the Nigerian Bar Association in Kejibra, which is one of the more active branches, not just in Lagos, but the entire country, on a protest to press for the judicial autonomy. In case you just woke up on this side of the divide, the Judicial Staff Union of Nigeria have shut down courts the entire country for over 2 weeks because they say the state governors continue to lord it over them. They want their independence. They want to be able to handle their destiny themselves. And the governors, we're supposed to have a meeting with them today through the leadership of a group of the Governors Forum, led by Aminu Tambuwal, the governor of Sokoto State. They pushed that meeting together with the Ministry of Labour to see if they can dot the I's and cross the T's and arrive at something. Many lawyers say it's an embarrassment. They had to have the President's Executive Order 10 to press this sort of thing into play. When you have it in the body of the constitutional spirit of the Constitution that there's separation of powers, executive, judiciary, and legislature, but that hasn't always happened in 23 years of this country's uninterrupted Fourth Republic. The third story is a story we're talking about all morning. It's a large community of people who tune permanently to 99.3 Nigeria Info. If you've ever been in any of the e-hailing rides in town, they are permanently locked on to 99.3. And so when I did get into one of the rides on Friday, I got a pamphlet saying we're going to embarking on a strike, and these are the reasons why we're embarking on this strike. From Morning Crossfire on to WhatsApp Lagos and Sunnyside. You've all been talking about the impact of the strike of the e-hailers. One of the biggest consequences I found out is that there's a surge. So because of the forces of demand and supply, you have the price up there. Ran through a group of the protesting drivers this morning. They had placards and saying that they wanted more value for their life. Insecurity is one of the issues. Some drivers, unfortunately, have lost their lives because they got into the hands of the bad guys, and they accuse the e-hailing platforms. It's not doing anything to protect them. You have clandestine due process in screening the riders who get into those vehicles. Talk about a sharing formula which is outdated, and they want that also to be updated as quickly as possible, saying that they're not getting a fair deal. So by and large, the transport space, we probably won't have been talking about this because it's private business like people talk about, but because of the impact on the Lagos State transportation system where everything moves on the road, the impact has been huge. They are saying that they want, I talk about pricing, I've talked about security. This is supposed to run for 7 days, a week. I don't know how long they're going to hold out on, but they're really serious about this. Many of you have found out on the streets. And we don't know whether this strategy is going to work. But they say if you don't try something, you don't know. So maybe it will work in the long run, but the silence of the e-hailing platforms is deafening, if you ask me. I haven't heard anything from them. They haven't said anything about what they intend to do, about the protests from the drivers. But like we say, time will tell. How's this affecting you? How's it affecting your business? All of these stories, the Judiciary Staff Union locking down courts, the SIM cards that you're just about to begin to renew and get again commencing from today, and then the e-hailing ride strike. They're all stories that affect every single one of us. We'd love to hear how you affected. 0700 993 993 993. Again, 0700 993 993 993. I know it's peak period, but do get to a quiet place so that we don't get a noisy background when you call in. There's also the line for the ladies, 01465 7190. Again, 01465 7190. And then WhatsApp, it's 0809 597 5805. And I've been running my mouth and I've been seeing comments drop in on WhatsApp. Several comments. But thankfully, I'm done with all the three stories. So from now all the way till 4, I'm going to engage all of you on what you think about these stories. Engineer Christian is in Ejigbo. And Engineer Christian joins us this fine afternoon. Hello, Engineer Christian. Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Yes.
Shaku Maku.
Maku Shi.
Yalla.
Too early for Yalla. We just started.
You're a very good man. God bless you, sir.
Bless you too.
Yeah. Although this is my first time of calling into your own. Since you replaced Sandra.
Oh, I was going to.
During Sandra's time, I usually call.
All right. Excellent.
I want to speak on the NIN.
Good.
Hello?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
We're listening to you.
What I really want to ask this government is, what have we really gained by blocking the SIM lines? People go through hell. People go through hell. Those who lost their phone. A colleague of mine lost his phone. For over 3 months, he couldn't make any business connection. Simply because of a law that we didn't even get anything inside. It's just like when the president closed the border for a year.
Right.
Even him himself come out to say that the nation didn't get anything in it. So why are we putting up all these kind of punitive measures that we suffer Nigerians?
So you don't think about the 100 million subscribers that now you have, at least half of them registered with their biometrics and everything, with their NIN linked. You don't think it's some sort of advantage? Right.
I personally have not even registered. I've been there a couple of times, the enrollment center, and the crowd is much. And the most annoying thing is that the government told us that these things are for free. But whenever you go to the enrollment centers, they charge you from 5,000 to 8,000.
If you want to come in through the back door, right?
Not coming through the back door. Which back door? There's no back door. Come through the front door. There's nothing like back door. Oh, honestly.
Well, it was the back door. I thought
Where I went to, they told me 5,000. The other place I went to, they told me 8,000. And I have to do that of my own and my wife and my son. How much am I being paid? Let them do. Listen, last time I told them that during election, they usually bring the voting centers to every ward. Why can't they bring this thing closer home to the people? Let them bring the enrollment centers ward by ward. At least under 2-3 days, everybody will enroll. And we'll get this thing done and don't say, why suffering Nigerians? Why suffering people? It's a pity, my brother. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Always a pleasure speaking with you. So we're getting some more calls, but let me get on WhatsApp. I see that there are comments coming in, and also on Facebook. So you can ask questions on Facebook. You can put in the comments also on Facebook. I'll take them in there as soon as they can. Thank God, Tong Awaji says, good day, Oboh. NIN mandatory for new SIM registration. Making NIN mandatory isn't the problem. The Ministry of Communications should decentralize NIN. I think they did that, but how effective have those centers been? So he says the NIN registration so much so is to aid easy access to both registration and issuance of NIN. But we'd also want to now know how many of you have been able to get your SIM card and all of that. Nasser Yusuf Momo on Facebook says, I believe the country has elected, I think it's a continuation of a message which I haven't seen. But help us with the message again. John Gabriel MC. You know, I'm not taking this. This is an ethnic-inspired scam, the NIN registration. I don't think so. It has nothing to do with ethnicity. Everyone's been registered and all of that. So let me go on WhatsApp and see what you have to say while the calls keep coming in. Johnson from Idimo says the agency is only trying to shift attention from their boss, I guess you mean the Ministry of Communication, embroiled in a very serious case of sympathy for jihadi groups, hence the lifting of the ban on SIM card purchase. Concerning the drivers, this is Obina from Orchard Road. These e-hailing platforms should do a round table to hear the drivers. That will be fair. He also thinks that they shouldn't have put a ban on SIM registration, saying it is disappointing. Okay, we hear you. Then Elder Casey from Ikeja says it is good that they are being paid by their own coins. They are the ones that gave some of the people, that's the politicians, the post they occupy today through judicial pronouncement. So what do they expect? So you're reacting to the Jusun strike. This one, I don't have your name. I wish you could include your name next time. It says that very soon there will be a world record breaker for strikes across nations, and I suspect Nigeria would win all the ranking. This is from Chuks in Ikeja. It says only Nigeria, Russia, China, and Turkey, the government make it hard, if not totally impossible, for the citizens to go on the streets to make their feelings known. Any government that restricts citizens to express themselves freely, oppressive regime, period. Chuks from Ikeja. All right, thank you very much. You can keep those calls coming in 0700 993 993 993. Again, 0700 993 993. Let's take this call. And hello and good afternoon.
Shaku Maku.
Hey, Makushi.
Yes, sir.
What's the name and where you calling from?
My name is Abednego, calling from Agbara.
Abednego. It's been a while I heard you. How are you, sir?
I'm good, though.
All right.
Migo.
All right, go ahead.
Right. I think I want to start from the whole lifting of ban on SIM registration. First question. Will this fix the damage that has been done and the economic loss? Because that's one key thing we have to look at here. The NIM system itself, has it been successful so far, if we are being honest? A lot of us are going to be writing JAM this year. Now, let's be honest, sir. Why we truly need NIN for JAM? And then when you still go to register and I have a situation which I would have to figure out one way or the other now. They dashed me one letter in my name. Then they shifted my birth date from November to December. If you go at the end of the day, on whose fault would it be?
Oh dear, so sorry. Do try and call back, see if we can get and continue from your line of thought, Abednego. I see another call coming in, but let's take this one. Hello and good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Excellent. What's your name, please, and where are you calling from?
My name is Lucky, calling from Duffy Estate.
All right, Lucky, and a lucky day, I guess, for you to get through to us. I guess you hear that too often.
I don't want to say much about this NIN registration.
Which of them? Which other stories you want to talk about?
I'm not of the NIN. I think they are
the lifting of the ban on your SIM cards. All right, good. Go ahead.
So if locking that I think would not benefit anything from me, because if we have responsible people, thinking people,
right?
The only thing you will have said that if you want to buy a new SIM, register it before they activate it.
Yeah, I always thought about that too. Yes, I mean it did. Yeah, but unfortunately,
and
do that.
The other one I want to say about the names the other caller said when you ask you whether you go back door. If you see all these umbrella like what they say NIM, it's not free.
Yeah.
The cheapest one is 3,000 naira. 3,500. You go to Yanakpaja, is there 3,000 naira. So and I tried to interview one of them. He said that money is their money. Most of them, they said the register one person maybe na 500 they will get. The rest money will send it to the headquarters. But they send it. So if you register like 10 people that day, they are expecting some amount from you. That is how the money will pass to the minister. So I look what they are doing. Just Nigeria is a place that if you want to make money, you just find something. They will just. I know the minister they have made their money already because MTL they will try to settle. People try to. That is just not that they have anything planned to do NIM for nothing. We are just struggling. They want to make their money and they have made their money. That's all. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Lucky. Interesting. The way Lucky says they just passed the money to the minister. I mean, makes it look like a real chain system, which is not true. It's a different thing entirely. But we get your point on the frustration and the double speak many times with government policies. CY is in Aghogho. Hello, CY.
Hello?
Yeah, CY, we have you on. Good afternoon. How are you? Good.
I'm fine. See, I would like to touch on that judicial autonomy.
Go ahead, please.
Why must governors be the one to have discussion on this? We are just disturbing our students that were in school. Somebody is in the several university reading political science. It will be taught separation of power.
Very true.
When you come outside from school, you discover that it's all academic. It doesn't reflect on the society. So, university is meant to know, like other developed nations are doing. They use research work in the university to make their country better. But in Nigeria, it's a different thing. Because judicial autonomy is overdue. The situation where governors sit in their office and decide everything is not like I want to take something from Pastor Adefarasi. I watched it on YouTube. The problem of Nigeria is foundation. And our problem is the constitution. Because the constitution the military gave to us is destroying a lot of things.
Ironically, CY, what the constitution says about the separation of powers is very clear. I mean, you would hear a number of senior lawyers say the president did not even need to sign an executive order for the governors, for example, to know this is what you should do. So on the autonomy of the judiciary, the constitution got it right. So in this regard, what do you think? It may not necessarily be everything contained in the constitution wrong.
Why is the Ministry of Justice, their phones are being channeled to the governor? If the constitution has spelled it out, why can't you pay them direct and let them adjudicate upon their phone and distribute it to the ministry?
Yeah, which the constitution says.
It's terrible. Right. I think judicial autonomy is long overdue. If you want to have a better society, civil issues in court will be handled judiciously. The judiciary needs, a separate form. And they need this autonomy. It's even long overdue. Thank you, like I said. God bless.
All right. Thank you very much, CY. And keep those comments coming in. And let me get on to WhatsApp while the calls are being screened. Good afternoon. But taking you already, Chike from Akute. So let me move on to someone else. Alex from Ikeja. He says that concerning both, let's just say e-hailing drivers strike, I'm in full support and I wish we can occupy he's mentioned one at least, both. We'll get a demand. Part of my demand, stop blocking drivers because of trip cancellations. Stop blocking drivers because they don't accept requests. Make best fare at 1,000 instead of 500. Scrutinize riders seriously, just like how you scrutinize driver before driving in the platform. Very, very well said, Alex. And I wonder whether eventually this table will they will get to this table, the drivers and all the stakeholders involved, so that we don't get this sort of scenario play out again. Hamzat is in Isolo. Hello, Hamzat.
Hello. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah.
Go ahead, please. Which of the stories you want to talk about?
On the ILM platform.
Oh, good. The e-hailing riders platform, right? The strike.
Yes, please.
Go ahead, please.
Yeah. Actually, I'm a driver.
Okay.
Yeah. And I can see that what is going on now is not benefiting any driver at all. I've fallen a victim like twice. There was a time I pick up a rider which I don't know at Isolo, and this guy is a Yahoo guy. The next thing is all those police stop us. This Yahoo guy go online on social media, Instagram, Twitter, all social media, and post my picture that I'm a thief, that I work with police. I make the report immediately to Uber, which at the end of the day they did nothing to it. Police locked me up. Wow. At the end of the day, they found out and they tell me that they asked this guy, did the guy know me from anywhere? He said no. Did he tell me that I'm coming to pick him up? Right. Have I been informed before? The guy said no. Okay, the policeman now said, don't just put this man into a trouble. I was bailed. You know, police, you can't, they'll just tell you you are friends, but you need to bring out something. So my brother, Uber, boats, they are not helping.
So what happened to this case? Was it dismissed eventually?
It was dismissed.
Okay. So you never went to court.
They never. I go to start office at what's it called? Onipan or at Yaba.
Right.
My brother told me to go straight down there. They said if I will make a case, if I will write a petition about the guy,
good,
I have to pay 50,000 naira, this, that, and that. And wow. I have. How much am I making?
Wow. So on the one hand, you couldn't seek for damages based on what he had done.
I couldn't.
And then on the other hand, you couldn't get an audience with Bolt, for example, with Uber, with
yes.
To press a case. Is it they didn't get back to you, but you made a report to them?
They did not. They did not do anything again. They did not make a report to me. They are just telling me we are sincerely sorry. We'll get back to you. That's how they. I was like, my uncle was like,
they never got back to you.
They never till now.
How long ago was this?
I can tell if I would say it's going to 1.5 years now.
Wow.
They never go to anywhere. They never said anything. So I was like, why? On the second hand, I pick up a guy at VGC. I can't forget. At Osborne, by around 2 a.m., I drop this guy. To pay me my money, the guy did not pay. I make a report, even though at the police station at Osborne, they know about it because we write a statement.
Right.
At the end of the day, this guy, the police said I should leave him. He should go. He's going to pay me my money. I message on votes, this, that, and that. At the end of the day, I found out nothing. Sorry, sir. All drivers are not secured.
Right. All right, Hamzat.
Last year, I was seized. All these guys that ordered me.
Right.
I was attacked at what's it called? Ota. They collected all my phones. I make a report. At the end of the day, nothing. What are we working for? What's the security that we have?
Right.
And we are only the app. We are making a.
Right. Exactly. Thank you very much. And many of these things, thank you very much for getting practical with many of these issues and painting a picture of sort of risk they face. Many of these things can be solved with, but then there are others that will require some sort of more elaborate solutions in resolving them. One of the people who is scamming the drivers and not paying, if the e-hailing rights will hook up anybody who is going to use any of those apps with their bank accounts straight to so that no one is going to pay in cash. If you don't have money in your account, you cannot order a ride. I mean, that would be an easy fix for that one. But I know a number of people will pay cash and will, instead of going through or do the bank transfer, which sometimes people get into, unfortunately. But just a few, not the majority of the people who get involved in that sort of transaction. Then security is a different matter entirely. I guess when people sit down together on the table and discuss, you come up with something which is more effective. Obeta Joseph from Shasha says, why this government can't be able to campaign doorstep to doorstep, we're trying to get into power, including vice president. When it's time to give the masses services, they will not be there to do the right thing. Just they do doorstep to doorstep nowadays. They won't drink Gary with you at the bus parks, eat smoked fish and corn and all of that, but it's more of cosmetic. It really doesn't mean anything at the end of the day. Aghogho, is it my name you're calling? I have never heard this one before. Huh? Ndubweze from Ojodu Berger. Thank you very much for murdering my name. Huh? They said, please forget this government. All this NIN, blah, 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 is just to enrich somebody's pocket. Go and mark it. Immediately after NIN, registration of your television, radio, and your fridge will commence. They got some local government in Lagos where that happens, but if you're smart, you don't give a single dime. Shakumaku, nice job you're doing. For Issa Pantami, he doesn't have any plans for this NIN campaign because by now a serious government would have briefed the public about the integration of NIN protocol for national planning and development and effective security. Well, what he's done is just release the numbers. They have half of 100 million linked. That's about 50 million out of 100 million users. It's what we have. Because that's the major advantage. When they tell us that based on the NIN scheme, they're able to get kidnappers and abductors, maybe we probably will say, well done, which is the point he also makes in this long message. You want to punish me for not getting through on the phone line. I'll go to the end. We just have people collecting salary every month, but have no solution. Oh, it's Olaide Cruz. He has very wonderful, elaborate messages. But I get your point. The security advantages and all of that. These are ways to reset and check security and make Nigeria a safe place through NIN. So where's all of this in place? I hear you, sir. I will like you to help me with one benefit of this SIM suspension for NIN to security matter. How has this NIN linkage helped in fighting insecurity? When we have the next police briefing, when they parade all those guys before the cameras, it's one question we'll ask our people to ask them. How many of them were apprehended through technology? Most times, usually forced confession. They say that's why we're paraded today. My question, of course, is what purpose or reason are junior leaders sworn to the Constitution since they don't know since they know they won't work with the Constitution while in office? Udom is speaking, I guess, with the judiciary. Please, at Nigeria Info, what's the phone number to call in? Oh, you're asking a question at the wrong time because we're about to wrap up this segment. But it's 0700 993 993 993. It's when you try later. Now, you cannot. I bet my entire salary and pension you will not get through if you try calling now because we have the entire lines clogged. Okay, so we go on a quick break. We come back. It's time for business. And after business news update, then we have Madam Landlord. Madam Landlord is looking at a perennial problem between landlords and tenants over property acquisition and then land grabbers coming in to say, it's not for you, it's for us instead. How do you guard against that sort of scenario and make sure your money isn't cobble trickling down the drain? We're right back. Please stay with us.
More news and information coming up. We'll be back in a moment.
How fortunate the one we're going to pick the call. Be the last call on the big three and make it count. Hello and good afternoon.
Hello.
When I heard the background, I thought you were probably in a religious place of worship. You're not, right?
Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon.
What's your name and where are you calling from?
Yeah, I'm calling from Ikeja. I'm here to talk about the e-driving
e-hailing ride.
issue.
What's your name, please?
1 minute. Huh?
What's your name?
Yeah, I'm Leo, calling from Australia.
All right, Leo. You can do this in 1 minute. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, please. Actually, I want to talk about another. It's not this didn't happen to me. It happened to a friend of mine. I'm also an e-hailing driver.
Right.
So around 10 or so PM, a friend of mine took a rider to K2 Aghogho, where he was eventually stabbed. You understand? Then he ran away from the car. He was able to escape from the car and ran to a close by police station across the road at K2 there. Those police couldn't follow him. They were telling him to write a report. You understand? And he's a driver. He's bleeding. He was stabbed on his neck. He was bleeding. He ran to them and they were telling him to write a report. He had to leave the police station, coming back again. What is it called? The so-called mob. That's Aghogho. They are now followed him with sticks. You understand? Go to his vehicle where he was actually stabbed and almost robbed to look for the person that tried doing it. Before they got there, the person has fled away and actually took some of his money that he has in his cabinet and his phone.
Oh dear.
So he came back. Actually, when he came back, he told me he drove with blood all over his body. So he came back. He called me. I have to come myself, take him to what is it called? Ikeja, this emergency at Expressway, very close to Pepsi. You understand? Then after the same day, we made a report to both. They never get back to us. They never get back to us. They even email us back. They didn't. You understand? So which means our life is not even safe. The strike which they are doing, I feel supported it.
Right.
Because me, I'm also at home. I'm not working.
So finally, you think at the end of the day is going to get the ultimate goal, which is to get the ears of the platform operators.
At least it's already getting an attention already.
All right.
The fact we're talking about it is something.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. And we'll keep our fingers on this for all the days the e-hailing drivers will be on strike to see if eventually we can get the people who are behind the platforms to begin to think more about the lives of those who are using their platform, which is basically the crux of the entire debate offline and online on what is happening with the e-hailing rights platform. So we'll go on that break now, and then we come back for the business news update, and then don't forget Madam Landlord still to come. 99.3 Nigeria Info, let's talk.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info.